At last, T has spoken up. Additionally, his recent remarks regarding Tiny and the startling DNA test have the complete industry in disarray. The rumors, conjecture, and anxiety that had been simmering behind closed doors for months. The instant Clifford Day Harris spoke, everything exploded. Damage management was not what this was. This was a proclamation of war. Not only was the guy who had been crowned King of the South protecting his reputation, he was fighting for his remaining legacy. Fans had been watching the story play out like a slow-motion car crash for weeks. The Harris family was the subject of rumors regarding treachery, infidelity, and paternity. Then the shocking revelation, a covert DNA test that purportedly verified the unimaginable came. The test that Tiny had attempted to conceal from the public was made public. And everything changed when it happened. Fans believed T would vanish into obscurity as soon as the results appeared on blogs. After all, when the headlines turned deadly, that's what celebrities typically do. However, T was not going to silently fade. Rather, he reappeared unfiltered, furious, and eager to speak. He shared his perspective for the first time, unvarnished, unplanned, and brimming with passion. His voice wavered between defiance and despair as he replied, "The chemistry of you and I can't be duplicated. You could pair up with another person. Put me with someone else. You won't receive the same item." Not the same fireworks. It was more than a confession. It served as a warning to Tiny, the industry, and everybody who had doubts about him. However, there was a darker side to that interview, an insight into a relationship that has been deteriorating behind closed doors for a long time. Piece by painful piece. The man who previously flaunted his family on reality TV was now revealing it to the world. The results of the DNA test did more than simply cast doubt on his marriage. It destroyed the foundation upon which he had built his brand. That of the mentor, the family man, the repentant hustler who became a mogul. All of a sudden, the world saw a man trapped by his own truth rather than a ruler. It didn't help that Tiny was silent. Although she didn't say anything in public, her deeds told it all. There were rumors that she had filed for divorce. Her social media accounts vanished. The endorsements were removed. Sponsorships disappeared. Even longtime partners began to disassociate themselves from the disaster by unfollowing T. Everyone could see everything happen in real time, as if the empire they had built together was crumbling brick by brick. T disappeared in the meantime. No posts, tweets, or appearances. The gossip mill went crazy. Some claimed he escaped to Dubai. Others said he was locked up in Atlanta with publicists and attorneys planning his next move. However, those closest to him claimed that the silence was a tactic rather than a retreat. Behind the scenes, T was getting ready to take charge rather than apologize. When he eventually reappeared, he was in a dimly lit studio with his eyes fixed on the camera and his hoodie pulled down. "I'm a male. I've made mistakes," he said in a sad voice. "However, I'm not a monster. I'm not a liar. Furthermore, I most definitely didn't deserve this circus." It was a deliberate mix of defiance and tenderness, part performance, part confession. He said that Tiny had leaked the test and that rather than defending their family, she had acted out of rage. "You don't run to the media with your pain," he stated. "You treat it at home." It sounded like heartbreak to some, manipulation to others. However, one thing was evident. He was not going to back down. The internet went crazy when he implied that Tiny had secrets of her own. He murmured, "That test wasn't supposed to go public, man. That was between family." Everything changed with just one sentence. The emphasis shifted to minuscule. Court documents, according to gossip blogs, show that she attempted to seal some documents, possibly even the test itself. Some claimed that the narrative had been sold for a profit by someone in their inner circle. Tiny remained silent, which only made the situation worse. "Truth don't need no PR" was the caption for a video that T shared during his interview. That sentence was like a grenade. Tiny's supporters responded by accusing him of being a manipulator and a master of spin, while his supporters united behind him and shouted his truth on social media. Hashtags started to gain popularity. #JusticeForTiny versus #Speaks. The internet became a battlefield. Every syllable he said was analyzed by podcasts. Panels on YouTube argued over who was actually at fault. Then came Shekinah Anderson, the former friend who was now an enemy. One evening, with her phone trembling in her fingers and her eyes flaming, she went live on Instagram. "Don't act like a victim right now. Tip," she yelled. "It was you who called me, not the other way around." She said he had begged her to keep the DNA tale hidden and had offered her hush money. And she made the decision to speak up when he failed to pay. As she threatened to release screenshots, voice notes, and proof, thousands of people watched in real time. She advised me to start presenting receipts if I continued to lie. It was a complete mess. 3 individuals who were formerly considered family are now embroiled in a cyber war that has exposed years' worth of secrets. The industry started to quietly but firmly move on as the story continued to unravel. Millions of dollars worth of deals were abandoned by brands. The concerts were rescheduled. His tunes were no longer played on radio stations. The man who used to be in charge of stages was suddenly unable to even direct his own story. Insiders calculated that since the crisis started, he had lost more than $30 million. Despite his team's best efforts, everyone was aware that Tay's empire was collapsing. However, the rapper has long been renowned for his tenacity. He posted an unexpected video on Instagram just when followers believed he had been permanently silenced. Just eerie images, no words, no hashtags. The Atlanta skyline at first light. A solitary person strolling beneath the rising sun. A shattered crown resting in the ground. There was a whisper. A monarch is overthrown. But only idiots believe he won't rise once more. The internet went crazy. Was it a documentary teaser? A brand new record? A rebranding for the public? Whatever it was effective. In a matter of hours, videos went viral on TikTok with followers scrutinizing each frame like detectives looking for hints. According to insiders, it was a part of a bigger project called Redemption, The Real Story, a documentary series. Some truths don't need to be defended, was the tagline. They have their own voice. Then, in typical small form, she answered without uttering a word. 12 words, 1 post. There are some truths that don't require defense. They are self-representative. No tags, no caption. T had used the same line. The message was unambiguous, nor was she going to back down. The Queen had spoken something. It was the ideal way for a royal collapse to conclude. Quiet defiance on both sides. No great conclusion, no reconciliation. Tiny turned her suffering into strength and concentrated on rebuilding her life when the dust settled. Shekinah vanished into the distance. Exhaustion and scrutiny dampened her fire. And T. He persisted in attempting to demonstrate that a monarch may rise again, even after his crown has been defiled by walking the tightrope between redemption and ruin. Because this was a warning about love, devotion, and the high cost of celebrity rather than merely a scandal. The results of the DNA test revealed more than just a child. In a society that depends on exposure, it exposed the reality about ego, treachery, and the price of maintaining secrets. So, the issue still stands. Whose side do you support? Sheikah's or Tiny's T's? Was it retaliation, atonement, or simply the arrival of reality? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below.